Oh, hi there. I know it's been over a week since I made a video. I've been a little bit under the weather and I've been tired outside of work, so it's not that I ran out of ideas. It's I been a little tired, been sleeping after work, so I haven't had time to make videos. Anyway, this video is going to be about how I don't like the Orca logo for the Vancouver Canucks. I'm not going to say that the current Vancouver Canucks jersey is ugly, because it's not. It's quite a very good looking jersey. But there's reasons why I don't like it. Let's start from the beginning of the Orca jersey. It was introduced in 1997. Now, what else happened in 1997? Oh right, we signed Mark Messier, the captain of the New York Rangers that defeated the Vancouver Canucks and won the Stanley Cup playoffs in 1994 and caused all of that giant headache that happened then. I don't like Mark Messier, in case you didn't notice. He won a lot of cups with the Oilers, so some people go, well, he won cups for the Canadian team, although there's a bit of controversy there, which I'm not going to bring up. Rest assured, I don't think Edmonton's going to do well for the next long while, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't wish that they don't do well, but I just don't think they will, based on politics. Anyway, as you can see, I'm wearing a throwback jersey, the red, the Canucks Saturn skate logo. Some people say it's spaghetti, but I for the life of me, I don't see it. That's not what it looks like to me. It's got Cliff Ronning on the back, one of my favorite Vancouver Canucks. There's been a load of very good Vancouver Canuck players. Marcus Naslund, Pavel Bure, Trevor Linden, Stan Smeel, Olchak, you name them. Good hockey players. Anyway, in 97, Mark Messier came here. Trevor Linden relinquished his captaincy to give it to that guy. So that's another insult. He was subsequently traded, and general manager Pat Quinn and head coach Tom Rennie were fired for, guess who? Mike Keenan. So, alright, I realize some of these things I'm bringing up are gonna be, you know, humdrum, I already know this kind of stuff, ideas that I'm throwing out to people, but there are other people who are ignorant of it. A lot of people are ignorant of it, because they walk around wearing their Orca jerseys and they don't even think, because they don't remember 15 years ago. They don't remember over 15 years ago. I don't blame them, but they're ignorant. I was a very young person when the jersey got switched over to the Orca. I was 11 years old. The people around me that liked hockey, that was when they started discouraging it. Like, I watched a lot of hockey growing up, and then right about that age they just started discouraging it because our team was going in a direction that they didn't like. So I missed a lot of action, which is too bad, but you know, I'll live with it. A lot of the Vancouver Canuck team has cooperated with the New York Ranger franchise. It's come slowly, but it's coming along. They got Marcus Naslund after he had a successful career in Vancouver. Didn't win a Stanley Cup, but had a successful career, had a lot of high point seasons and things like that. We had to switch coaches with them, Alain Vigneault for John Tortorella. Not that I really got anything against John Tortorella. I'll explain why in a different video at some point, maybe. We also switched our farm team recently in 2013. we switched from the Manitoba Moose to the Utica Comets. Utica's in New York. Oh, and also Donald Bashir ended up on New York as well. He was well liked, although during the end of his career, some people didn't like him, and he did do some dickish things. But I don't know the guy too well, so I'm not going to comment any further on that. But I don't like the association with the Vancouver Canucks and the New York Rangers. I don't like them getting on friendly terms. I don't like them cooperating. I find it more insulting that that's what's happening rather than Boston beating the Vancouver Canucks with the Orca jersey. I'm more inclined to forgive Boston because Boston, although had some irritating players when they won, particularly Brad Marchand and Milan Lucic, the history of the Boston Bruins is quite rich and colorful and very good. So they're more forgivable for beating us. Although, even with the Orca jersey and all that other stuff, I do wish Vancouver won. They didn't. They gave it a good shot, didn't win. No, don't get confused. It's not that I dislike any particular Vancouver Canuck players. Although I heard a strange story about Alex Burrows. I don't know. It was weird. I'd had a few drinks, and some people were talking some sort of street code, and they said, "Oh, you don't want to meet Alex Burrows." And I was just like, well, maybe it's just the sauce talking or thinking. I don't know. But anyway, that was weird, and that's off topic. So yeah, there's the association with Vancouver and New York. For years they said New York had a better crime rate than we did, as far as it being lower than our one. Which actually isn't true, because Central Park, people get raped and murdered in Central Park. We don't really have a park in Vancouver that happens in. So I don't know if those statistics are very accurate. But there's another reason why I have a bias against New York. As I mentioned in a previous video, probably about a month or two ago, that I'm quarter Lox Kalam. Now, the Lox Kalam is a band up by Port Simpson, and they have a boat which is stolen and in a New York museum. This boat, big boat, I would really like to see it. Like, I know what it looks like, but I'd like to go to the museum and see it. But I want the museum to be here in Vancouver, where it belongs. Or at least in British Columbia, you know what I mean. My grandfather always said that it belonged to his father, or his father had the rights to it, or something like that. That might have been a bit of the dementia setting in, but it's definitely a Lox Kalam boat. And I think part of this getting on friendly terms with New York has to do with the native band that is the most affiliated out of all the native bands with the Vancouver Canucks, which is the Haida. The Haida are not the same as the Lox Kalam. I don't know a whole lot about their relations. I don't know how well they got along. I remember one time being a young person and my grandfather saying, "Oh, I don't trust those Haida." Yeah, I don't remember much of the encounter. I was very young. I just remember these Haida being very big guys, very burly, you know, and big and fat. And they got into my parents' Suburban, which is, you know, big car, big truck, and the truck went leaning towards one side because they both got on at the same time. And we're not talking about a Fiat or a smart car, we're talking about a Suburban. So these guys were big and fat. Anyway, that doesn't have much to do with anything, but my grandfather didn't trust the Haida. He didn't go into details as to why that is. There might be some historical reasons for why he believes that. This sort of stuff was not talked about. I'm not even sure if my grandmother really knows. I do have some relatives that have their own version of what the orca symbol should look like, and it's more or less the same as the current one, but slightly different. Kind of got more of the First Nations look to it. So I really don't know what the Loch Kalam opinion of the orca symbol is, because I mean, the Haida and the Loch Kalam are both First Nations bands, and maybe they put aside their disagreements and went, well, what's best for us making money and having a hockey franchise that could be successful and all that. I don't know, I'm hypothesizing. You can't learn about this stuff because, well, you can if you're in certain social circles, but if you're just some guy standing from the outside like me, you can't learn about it. But from what I gather, it's the Haida that have profited from this whole campaign of the orca symbol. That's the way for the future for the Vancouver Canucks. And one of the things I hope for is for every Thursday to be a throwback Thursday. That means black jersey, Saturn, skate. Hey, maybe even a throwback red jersey. Some people go, hey, that's a salmon color. That's a strange jersey. There's plenty of red jerseys in the NHL. You got the Detroit Red Wings. You got the Chicago Blackhawks. You got the Carolina Hurricanes. We don't need no more red jerseys. But, you know what? I disagree because I like this jersey too. So there are quite a number of things in play. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that went on with this whole new Canucks image that I have no idea about. And that's, you know, it's part of my beef with the higher echelon of society, is that they don't make any attempt to teach people, the common day folk, about it. There's no way you can go and learn about it. You have to be in a circle to even get the opportunity to be tested to learn all this stuff. And it's just like, hey man, I don't want a boring life. I want interesting, colorful, cool things to be happening. I want to know what's going on. And I don't mean like in a creepy way. Like, I don't have to know what Henrik Sedin ate for breakfast. That's not my idea of being informed in the hockey world. But I also don't like going to NHL.com and not learning anything. It's like a few stories, and they're generic, boring, uninteresting, nothing happened. And some people go, well, Stanley Cup playoffs are over. The Pittsburgh Penguins won. But the thing is, it was a big party for Pittsburgh when they won this year, so maybe they did interesting things. Could we learn maybe? Let's, you know, treat your fans with a little respect. Of course, there was the parade, which for everyone is more or less the same thing. They go in these big buses and they wave the flag around, and they wave the Stanley Cup around. They have their beard shaved. There's thousands of people there. What can I say? That's Pittsburgh. So that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about the Canucks and how I don't like the orca symbol. I'm also not a fan of it because it doesn't say Canucks to me. I'm not done buying Canucks jerseys. I'm not so much into the V, you know, the one with the skate symbol on the shoulders. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's ugly, it's tacky, it's dated. I don't want that one. But a jersey that does look cool is the skate, or a big C, however way you want to look at it. And it's a blue jersey, and it mimics kind of the way, or I should say the new jersey kind of mimics the way that jersey was. Which is okay. So I don't mind that jersey. There's another jersey that could come about. It might be too soon. I've seen it. They've got mock-ups of it that you can buy, and it kind of looks like the current Dallas Stars jersey, except it's got a Johnny Canuck logo on it. I don't mind that jersey. If they switched over this year, you know, I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't say that was too soon. You can't do that. I wouldn't say that. Some people would disagree, but you know, it's a big old world, and we all got our opinions, and we're allowed to have them. Not so much into the red and white jersey, you know, the one with the big V on it. Now that has ugly sweater written all over it. Not a fan of that one. That one is quite ugly. Anyway, how history would be different, not to be, you know, just sort of shifting through ideas here, how history would be different if the Vancouver Canucks had won in 1994. I understand bad things happened when the Canucks lost, because there were a lot of really angry Canuck fans that were expecting to win the cup, and it didn't happen. I know of one story where there was someone wearing a New York Rangers jersey, and needless to say, he was beaten to a pulp and ended up in hospital with his jersey ripped and everything. Might have seen that coming. That could have happened in any city if you were a visitor and you were in that circumstance. Your team won, the city you're in lost. People get really angry about that sort of stuff. So might not be wise to go to a Game 7 in someone else's city. Unless you have some friends that can back you up so that you don't get pummeled. Some other bad things probably did happen. I'm not that well informed. 1994, I was 8 years old. I do remember being at my uncle's place while they were watching the game. I was kind of watching, but you know, I was a kid, so I was busy doing my own thing. And my parents are like, we're leaving now, when the Canucks lost. And that's because my uncle didn't take it too well, him and his friends. So, emotions get high, people get sensitive, people get angry when they lose. I accept that the Vancouver Canucks lost to the New York Rangers. I'm not butthurt about it. I'm not deeply offended. I don't particularly like it. I wish they won, but you know, I gotten over it. Like I got over the Boston Bruins defeating the Vancouver Canucks in 2011. I watched the first game in a sushi restaurant, actually. So that was where they won. So that was a good experience. But they ultimately ended up losing. But you know, that's history. So to sum up my points, I don't like New York anyway because they have my band's boat. This boat is very valuable, and it belongs in a Canadian British Columbian museum, not a New York museum. They stole it. They have to give it back, in my opinion. Not a fan of the Orca logo. That all came about when Mark Messier joined the team. Don't like that guy. He's an arrogant prick. And yeah, I just don't like him. It's really nice that Trevor Linden is now the general manager of the Vancouver Canucks. and that he's come back to the fold. And even Pavel Bure was honored not too long ago. I could see why he would be angry at the current or the events that happened after the playoffs in '94. That's just natural. Some people got screwed over, and unfortunately we had to bite a rather bitter bullet. So this is one sort of subject. I'd really like to learn more about it. I am going to order the '94 playoffs DVD on Amazon or eBay, whoever has it. I'm sure somebody does. And I'll keep it. And I won't watch it very often, but I'll have it in my collection. So, yeah, to sum everything up, I want the current jersey changed back, or at very least changed to the Johnny Canuck logo. Don't like the Orca logo for various reasons. A lot of these new generation Vancouver Canuck fans aren't going to agree, but that's just because they have a lack of appreciation for history. As well, you know, history is my thing. I want to know more about it. I have a great interest in all things that are history. Sports, politics, military, you name it. I want to know. And I'll keep working at it. I don't need no fancy UBC university schooling degree to learn about history. There are other ways. Anyway, yeah, that was the point of my video. Not happy with the Orca logo. So, anyway, yeah, I guess talk to you guys later. Have a good one.